Okay, Queen Air update. Got her almost done with the annual, and now it's time for the dreaded gear swing. Here's the point where we really hope it doesn't fall off the jacks. Okay, contact. Attempt 1 is a failure because we don't have enough power. They got it hooked up to external power so we don't drain the battery, but must not be plugged in sufficiently.
Let's unplug it, we'll run the battery. All right, unplugged.
Attempt number 2.
Gear up, clear.
And that's what the Queen Air looks like in flight, minus the jacks. Now, I have had a couple of issues with this. The gear doors don't fit together absolutely perfectly. They're pretty good, but every little bit hurts the overall speed. Like right there. We're gonna have to work on that.
All right, down. You going down? Sweet green. Sweet green, perfect. Gear up. Gear going up. Clear.
And that's what the Queen Air looks like in flight, minus the jacks. I have had a couple of issues with this. The gear doors don't fit together absolutely perfectly. They're pretty good, but every little bit hurts the overall speed. Right there. We're gonna have to work on that.
All right, down. You going down?
Now, if you notice here, you see how far down the main landing gear doors hang below the engine nacelles. Now, that's a really cool design in the Queen Air, and it's designed that if you gear up this plane, once you grind through the gear doors when you're sliding along the runway, you're on the tires, and the tires will actually roll at that point. So the theory goes that if you gear up the plane, you will only damage the gear doors. You don't wreck the belly of the airplane. You'll obviously wreck the nose gear doors as well, but that should be all the damage you get, which is really kind of a cool feature on the Queen Air. Excellent.
I'm gonna do emergency extend.
Yep. Okay, now we're going to practice extending the gear manually. So here's climbing up the stairs, trying to not knock the damn thing over. Being able to extend the gear manually is always relatively important. I've had to do it twice in my career, not in the Queen Air. Okay, well, we ran into a couple of tiny issues on the manual gear extension. Issue number 1, my camera died. Purely operator error. And issue number 2, when the mechanic asked me for the manual gear extension procedure, I replied purely from memory, mind you. Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure how to do it from memory. And when you're extending the gear manually on the Queen Air, you definitely want to use the checklist, because if you do it wrong, you can actually damage stuff. If you look at the POH, which I had to dig out embarrassingly, you'll notice that you have to stop pumping the landing gear down once the gear indicators show the gear is down and locked. Otherwise, you can damage something. So the gear extension procedure is pull the landing gear relay circuit breaker so the gear motor isn't fighting the manual gear extension ratchet. Disengage the clutch, free up the handle, and start pumping. It takes about 50 pumps to extend the gear manually. If you look here at the video, you'll notice that the gear comes down nice and slow with each pump. So slow, in fact, that it takes a little bit. So if you ever have to do this, make sure you do it and everything done, gear down and locked, before you're on final. Don't wait till the last second, because it's going to take a little while. Anyway, the rest of the gear swing went really fine. We didn't find anything else wrong with the plane. The left throttle cable is a little sticky. We got that freed up. Should be putting the cowlings back on today and doing a high-speed taxi test tomorrow, unless, of course, it rains. You don't want to do a high-speed taxi test on a wet runway because, as the name implies, you get going really fast, and then throttle back and stop before you run off the end of the runway. Wet runway might make that a little more difficult. So the Queen Air Annual is on track to give us our flight the day after Christmas up to Michigan to go see Kathy's family. Now, we got to get a couple of test flights in, because I'm definitely not going to take my family and a whole bunch of presents up to Michigan on the first flight after maintenance. You always want to have a good test flight after maintenance. Make sure you circle the runway, stay nice and high, test everything out. Connor and I will be doing that. Put at least one flight, probably 2 on it before I'll put my family in there, because got to be safe. You know, it's a big, complicated airplane. She's a real robust plane, and those two 400 horsepower engines will definitely do the job. But you want to make sure everything's right, especially seeing it hasn't flown in 6 months and just done with the annual. So got to be safe. All right, well, I hope you guys are all ready for Christmas. I'm 100% ready. Got all my shopping done. Actually, I'll do my typical Christmas Eve mad panic shopping, so it's a tradition. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great holiday season, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for the high-speed taxi test. Till then, keep your speed up.